Hey everyone, chaomix here. There hasn't really been a game to include Sonic's friends as playable characters with their own unique campaign in a long time. Sure, we have classic Sonic joining in occasionally for whatever reason Sonic Team can muster up last minute, and the avatar character from Sonic Forces who's pretty much just a blank slate. But I'm talking about Sonic's best buds like Tails, Knuckles, and especially Big the Cat. Come on, Sonic Team, still waiting for that Big the Cat spinoff. The adventure games were the first ones to really make it a big selling point that you can play as all of these different characters with their own unique story. And while I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of the Sonic and Friends gameplay, I think a majority of people can agree that we really miss this variety. It's just been so long. I know we had Sonic Mania with a pretty impressive roster of characters, and I really appreciated how they brought back long-lost characters like Ray and Mighty, but it's not like they each have their own fleshed-out story or set of unique levels. They're kind of just swapped in for Sonic whenever you play as them. But hey, this isn't the worst thing in the world though. I'd rather have this than nothing. Although I'd kind of like to have my cake and eat it too. Why can't we get the best of both worlds? Sonic Forces gave us unique levels for each character, but the characters were kind of bland. Sonic Mania had a colorful and fun cast of characters, but mostly made us play through the same levels no matter who we chose to be. Sonic Adventure almost has the best of both worlds, but the levels aren't entirely unique. They're usually slightly modified versions of Sonic's levels depending on the character you play as. I still really enjoy the style of gameplay though. Sonic Adventure 2 trims the fat a bit with only 3 gameplay styles, but each one is unique in terms of gameplay and levels. Yeah, baby, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Except for one issue. There's a lot of people that hate the other 2 gameplay styles that aren't Sonic's. Besides the Sonic and Shadow Speed stages, you also have the Knuckles and Rouge treasure hunting stages, and the Tails and Eggman mech stages. They're both pretty infamous for being huge momentum killers, literally. I've actually already expressed my opinions on the treasure hunting levels in a previous video, so if you'd like to see what I think about them, go check it out after this video. But now it's time I talk about the other black sheep in the Sonic gameplay family. Out of both of these 2 styles, this one definitely gets the most flack. Does it deserve it though? Are the Tails and Eggman mech levels really that bad? Let's talk about it. Like I mentioned earlier, Sonic Adventure 2 switches between 3 gameplay styles: speed, treasure hunting, and mech. They're usually pretty well spaced apart too, alternating almost every level. In all, there are 29 standard stages in the game, so mech stages take up 9 of these 29 levels. Sorry, I'm not counting the driving levels as a mech level, although they're still pretty great in their own right. More specifically, there are a total of 4 mech levels for Tails and 5 for Eggman. So yeah, the mech stages make up a whopping 31% of this game, just under a third. Keep this in mind going forward. I can definitely see why people may not love this game, especially when they don't find the mech stages enjoyable. It's a pretty big chunk of the game you're forced to play through, and if you aren't going to enjoy it, you're not going to have a good time. So why do people dislike these levels so much? In order to answer this, let's do a quick overview of this style of gameplay. In the mech stages, you play as either Tails or Eggman piloting their own mechs, the Cyclone and Eggwalker. Both play and control pretty much exactly the same. Boiling it down to the most basic description, they're able to jump, shoot, and hover. It's pretty basic, but there's at least some depth with the shooting mechanic. You can hold down the shoot button for a handful of seconds to lock onto as many enemies as you can with your laser's sight. This is the best way to rack up points and get A ranks in each of the stages. The more enemies you can get within one combo, the higher your score goes, quite exponentially too. Other than enemies, sometimes you'll have to shoot obstacles like these sticks of dynamite to blow up terrain or these doors blocking your path. There's also some cool little tricks you can do with the hover. By activating the hover as close to leaving the ground as possible, you can use the upward momentum from your jump to boost yourself up and gain a bit of extra height. That's pretty much the game in a nutshell. It's a really easy gameplay style to get the hang of, but there's enough to it where you can still improve with experience. The gameplay from the mech stages actually derives from the E102 Gamma stages from Sonic Adventure 1. His gameplay style is almost exactly the same, but if you're comparing controls, I gotta say that Sonic Adventure 1 did it a bit better. Gamma just feels a lot better to control. He doesn't get hung up when turning corners, and overall he feels faster and more responsive. The SA2 mech controls could definitely be better, but I don't think they're that bad. There's a few things that are bad though, and by a few, well, there's a lot of flaws with his gameplay style, and I'm not gonna deny it. I mean, these levels get a ton of flack for a reason, right? Out of the 3 gameplay styles, this one is definitely the slowest. Not as slow as Silver's gameplay from Sonic 06, Let's never do that again, Sonic Team. But it's still not exactly fast enough to get any exhilaration from moving forward. And when you're playing a Sonic game, this is basically the last thing you want the game to feel like. Top speeds are already extremely moderate, but on top of this, making even the most modest of turns is a huge hit to your speed. It just feels really bad. In addition, the gameplay can occasionally be a little stop and go, with certain obstacles just cutting you off from moving forward. The levels, by themselves, don't overstay their welcome or anything, as they usually can be completed in under 5 minutes or so, which is pretty standard for a Sonic level. But even though these levels are only a third of the game, they feel like they're half. I think it's just a psychological thing, but it's definitely still a thing, at least for me. While I do enjoy alternate gameplay styles in Sonic games, I still think Sonic should be the focus for the majority of the game. A healthy mix of Sonic and non-Sonic gameplay definitely makes you appreciate the Sonic levels that much more when you get around to playing them. But when the game just has you starving for Sonic levels, it can get pretty frustrating. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Sonic Unleashed. I don't think Adventure 2 quite gets to this point, but it really does get dangerously close sometimes. So yeah, that's all the bad I can think about when it comes to... What is that god-awful sound? It's no secret that the audio mixing in Sonic Adventure 2 is, special.
Hey, it's not his speed. He must be using the Chaos Emerald to warp. Shadow.
But this laser sound takes the cake for the most annoying, ear-grating sound ever. This ringing sound made from whenever you aim your gun is absolutely terrible, and you hear it for basically the entirety of each of the mech levels. Like, what were they thinking when they designed this? Did they not play test it or sound test it to see if it sounded terrible? Like, it's just the worst sound. Like, I can't believe they made this. So yeah, a lot of these complaints may seem a bit nitpicky, but overall I don't think there's one single thing that absolutely destroys the entire experience of this gameplay style. It's kind of a death by 1,000 cuts situation with this gameplay style that makes it the worst of the three. But enough being negative, there's actually a few things I really enjoy from these levels. First of all, and probably most importantly, the level design is actually really good. Although the levels aren't exactly made for going fast, the platforming is actually at its peak during these levels. Yeah, you heard me right. In terms of just strict platforming, like timing and spacing jumps and moving through obstacles, the level design is actually amazing and makes great use of both horizontal and vertical space. The mech levels have a ton of combat, and I usually don't love large focuses on combat in Sonic games, but the mech levels do a lot of things right. First, pretty much every enemy dies in a single shot. Being able to just shoot an enemy and be done with it is really important in making sure you're able to just keep moving forward as much as possible. It makes the pacing of the level feel a lot more continuous. Yeah, sorry, I'm not really a whole fan of the health bar system introduced in Sonic Heroes. It usually just leads to spamming the homing attack over and over, which gets old really fast. Also, the sound of blowing up robots is pretty dang satisfying, especially if you get a huge combo going and just decimate everyone on screen one by one in quick succession. And of course, the music in each stage bops. I think Tails might have some of the most underrated music in this game. I don't see as much appreciation for the music in his stages compared to, say, Sonic stages. The riffs in these levels go just as hard and deserve a lot of the same recognition and love, I think. Would these levels have been better if the characters were mechless? Probably not, as the levels are designed around the mechs, their physics, and all of their mechanics. But maybe if the game was created for mechless Tails and Eggman from the beginning, and had level design built around how they would play, sure, I can definitely see it helping Sonic Adventure 2 be an overall better experience as a whole. Mechless Tails and Eggman are playable characters in the Chao Garden, and I think they had potential to be pretty good characters, maybe if tweaked just a bit. Like dude, just look at this mod of someone getting Eggman playable in City Escape, and tell me this wouldn't be sick as hell. So do the mech levels deserve all of the hate? While I don't think these levels are that bad, they're still definitely the worst part of the game in my opinion. If you aren't a fan of them, then yeah, it'll be annoying to be forced to play them in between other and better stages. Usually I don't mind playing them, but there's some days I just want to go fast and play as Sonic and Shadow. If you're the kind of person that only wants to play as Sonic and hates the idea of alternate gameplay styles with Sonic's friends, yeah, you'll probably hate these stages. But I think they could really hit the spot sometimes, adding variety to the gameplay and showcasing Sonic Team's impeccable level design. I don't know if I ever want to see them come back unless they improve on a lot of the negative points we discussed earlier. Maybe by having better mobility, a better variety of weapons, and better audio mixing. In the end, the mech stages are seen as a blemish on an otherwise amazing game. Compared to the treasure hunting stages, the mech stages were a lot harder to defend, as I believe they're a lot more flawed. But even considering all of its flaws, I think the whole experience still has a lot of merit that goes unappreciated. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this. I upload new videos every week, so make sure to hit the bell notification to be the first to know when I upload. In the comments below, let me know what you think about the mech stages. Are they really as bad as people say, or do you enjoy them? And to take that discussion even further, make sure to join the community Discord. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And finally, I want to give a huge thank you to all of my backers. You guys are the #1 reason I'm able to keep making videos on a weekly basis. Backers get access to a few cool perks, so make sure to press the channel membership link in the description or the join button beneath this video. You can find information on the perks there. And with all that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Peace.